like his class, and he told him that he passed his class.
Sweet.
Says, yeah, he's
All right, solving linear equations. Here we go. All right. Determine whether the situation can involve negative numbers. Explain the reasoning. All right. What's the first one? A number of points one team scores in a basketball game.
What are we doing?
So let me ask you this: during a basketball game, now, during a basketball game, what happens if you throw a basket in the opposing team's basket?
Then they get a point.
They get the point.
You
So
don't go
nope,
negative.
you don't go negative. Okay,
Wait, where do you see the paper?
that's not on there.
I don't see it.
Oh, it's
Oh wait, no, I see
second one.
it now.
To the right. All right, the amount of money in a bank account. Could you have a negative amount of money? Yeah, it's called an overdraft.
A debt?
Yeah, debt. It's not a good thing to have.
Wait, does it affect your credit score though?
It could, yeah, absolutely.
Then yes for number 2.
All right. I'm in intro. So you definitely could have a negative. You could definitely have a negative balance in a checking account. You could overdraft it. The amount of electricity used on this month's bill compared to last month's bill.
It could be less or more. So
Could be
I
less
guess-
or more. Now, let me ask you all this though.
When you're paying, it's still negative for you.
Yeah, your paying is negative. Is it possible that the energy company has to pay you back?
Yes.
If they mess up.
If you like get like a rebate or something.
No, not necessarily.
If they
Mess something up? No.
if something.
So there are people out there that, well, it's always better when the federal government gets involved because things are better. So when I used to live in Nevada, a lot of the homes had a geothermal loop that would go underground, and it would heat the water to the house, and we had water lines that would run under our floors, so we would heat our water for our showers and sinks by using the earth, because we had very large geothermal activity underneath a lot of Nevada. And then you could also heat your house, and if you didn't want to heat your house, you just turned off the loop that went under the floors. But the federal government said, no, you have to have a water heater that is hooked up to either gas or electric, so it'll heat your water. And then they also said you have to have a way to heat your home that is either gas or electric as well if you lived within the city limits. Well, I would have, for a heating bill, I'd have an electric bill, but as far as the heating went, it never cost me anything because the world was heating the water and heating my home. But it was kind of funny because it's like you're at this huge tank of water that you could melt your skin with. It was so hot, and then I had a hot water heater that I turned to the lowest setting possible because I didn't need to have that water heated because the water comes through the geothermal. So that was pretty cool. But when the federal government would say, hey, you need to have this, it's like the core of the earth is not going to cool that rapidly. And if it does, having my own water heater hooked up to a gas line that heats it or an electric line is going to be the least of my worries. Yeah.
Did you like living in Nevada better than you did in Boston?
That was a horrible place to live.
Why?
Horrible place to raise a family.
Why?
It's all
Because
centered
no one
around
lives
adult
there.
entertainment.
No one
But
lives
it sounds
It's
cool.
really no.
It's not the thing.
All the
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Were you like on the park from Vegas, California?
I lived in Reno for a while. Yeah,
Oh,
it
sweet.
was 45 minutes.
Nice.
Yo,
What's like the states you've lived in, I guess?
born in Jersey, grew up in Arizona, and then lived in Nevada and here. So, 4 places. You were born in Jersey?
No, but I lived in Arizona for
Yeah.
7 years.
Born in Arizona? Arizona was a fun place to grow up. Now, the hard thing about growing up our kids growing up in Nevada is there's very little for kids to do. It's all centered on entertainment of adults. So it's like, hey, I'm going to go hang out at this casino. You're not allowed to. And if you were allowed to, why would you want to? Because people are gambling, and you're not allowed to gamble. In fact, you can't even approach the games unless you were 21 years or older. So, and there was all kinds of stories where, people would be playing a slot machine, and then a little child would walk up, hey, do you want to pull the one-arm banded arm or push the button, and all of a sudden it wins a big jackpot, and then they don't get the money because their child was the one who touched it or pushed it or whatever. So, it was silly. And then what's I thought was really awkward was if you went to the grocery store, you had to walk through a casino to get into the grocery store. The casinos were smoking establishments. So you'd have to walk through a smoking section to get to a non-smoking grocery store to get your food, and then you'd have to walk from the non-smoking store through the smoking section to get out to your car. It was a very backwards way of living, and I didn't really get it and understand it. And, it was strange. And I feel very fortunate because the housing market went through the roof in 2005, and I was able to sell the home that we owned there for triple what I had paid for it. So that was nice. That was real nice. No, I will not tell you how much money I made, but it was good. So, no, I can't retire, but I'm just. It allowed me to sell a home that was in a fine neighborhood to where my home is now, which I'm surrounded by doctors and lawyers. And it's like, dude, how are you as a teacher living here? So I'll just say that. I live close to Arapahoe High School, so just go find the home.
Why didn't you teach at Arapahoe?
Because I wanted to teach you. And if I taught at Arapahoe, I wouldn't be able to teach you. The rest of the kids in here, I could care less about. I wanted to make sure I was your teacher.
Because we all know that you need the most help.
It is your birthday, so I'll make an exception for you today.
What's today, SD?
My birthday is over this summer. What about
Hey, mine's over Christmas break, so
When's your
All
birthday,
right.
Mr. Sturrow?
December 30th.
December 19th.
Yeah, baby. Let's go. We'll go eat ice cream. All right. What is the absolute value of 5? No, the absolute value of 5 is 5. What is the absolute value of negative 10? 10.
It's how far away it is from 0.
There you go.
God, people are so fluid.
Absolute value really talks about how far away something is taking place from 0.
So it's
Okay?
never
And
gonna
so a
be negative.
distance isn't negative, okay? So absolute value is that.
Wouldn't it be -5?
No.
No. It's the distance away from 0, and you can't have a negative distance.
They're all,
It's
So if you were to walk from where you sit to the door and then you were to walk from the door back, you didn't travel a negative distance. You traveled the distance both ways positive. That's how it
That's neat.
makes it on. All right, can I move on?
Yeah.
Now there might be a situation where we might get a negative. Compare the and complete. Oh, greater than, less than, or equal to. So what is this value here?
82.
82. Is that bigger or smaller than 50?
Bigger.
big gun.
So, greater than. Alligator eats that way. What about this one? 67 and 70.
70's bigger.
70 is the larger. Okay. What about 70 and 91? What about 27 and 42?
42.
Okay, so what's kind of weird is negative 91 is it's a much smaller number. I would rather owe somebody $70 than $91. So, but then you're talking the absolute value, so it's just a distance, and the distance itself can't be negative. Does that make sense so far?
Yep.
Nah?
Yay.
All right, what about this one? 22 and
19.
19? That way. Oh, look at this one, though. They are equal. They are the exact distance away from 0. The exact same distance. Everyone feeling okay about these?
Yes, sir.
All right. I think I feel okay. Yes, sir. All right.
Sir.
So, absolute value of 3 means
3.
All right. Is there another one?
-3.
-3. So both these answers are correct on this statement. Why can I say that?
Because they're 3 away from 0.
They're 3 away from 0. +3 and -3 are both a distance of 3 away from 0. So that's why we have both directions that take place. Is that all right?
Do you draw a line or?
No, yeah, I'm just trying to show you that they both mean the same thing. How far is 3 away from 0? 3 away from 0 goes to the right and to the left on the number line. Yeah.
Isn't there a thing with like the dark circles and then like open circles?
Yeah, that's a different concept, but yes. Yep. Stretch. Question? Stretch. Sweet. Okay, now, x plus 2 is equal to 3. X plus 2, the absolute value of that is equal to 3. So, hang on. How many answers did this have?
2.
1,
How many answers does this seem to have?
3, 2.
It's going to have 2.
It's going to have 2. So we're saying, how far is this function away from 3? Is really what we're going to do, and you can go either way. How far is this function away from 3? So what you're going to do is you're going to go x plus 2 is equal to 3, and that's going to solve to get me this. Is that all right?
Yep.
But then I also have to do it this way, because remember on the board, if we just had absolute value of x, we had both a positive and a negative component over here. So if I solve this by subtracting 2, okay, so halfway between these, exactly halfway between these, the function x plus 2 existed. Did I say 0 existed there? No, I said the function x plus 2 existed. Okay, so now we're saying how far are we away from the function? Now if we add just the absolute value of a function to x, that means one thing. Now I add the absolute value of a function added to 2. Okay? And so what's the very center of this? Let's see if you can decipher that. I go 1, I go 2, I go 3. Am I 3 away from this? 1, 2, 3. So look at this. This is our center. Look at that. That's x plus 2. So minus 2 is in the middle of this particular function. What do you think?
I don't get it.
Oh, I get it. So the
Okay.
-2 is your 0.
Stop. Okay, we're talking about a distance, right? So I could say I'm in between.
How do you got -5 and 1?
Okay. Oh, I saw. Okay.
I'm confused.
So if I just had this as the given equation, you would subtract 1 from both sides and get 1. So I think you should be okay here.
Yeah.
It's just the setup thing. But then I also have to set it up, being I could have a distance on either side of my number, whether it's a positive number or a negative number, you're going to take the simpler side and make it an opposite sign. So if it's positive, you make it negative, negative, make it positive.
So where there's like the less terms, I change the signs.
Yes. Cool?
Cool.
Yo.
What does the -2 mean?
That's just where this function had taken place. So we are exactly halfway between those two, that function. Yeah.
I'm not trying to be rude, but
Yeah.
how would we use this in the real
Real world? Road trip.
world?
Well, you're always going to have a positive distance. It's not like Ferris Bueller's where you can put the Ferrari on a jack and make it go in reverse and hit the gas backwards. It doesn't work.
I don't think like we're gonna buy Ferraris.
You might.
You never
You
know.
might.
Wrong.
I do like the Ferrari. I could go for a Ferrari. But I don't need the brand spanking new Ferrari. I need the one like Magnum PI used to drive, like from the 80s. You know, the 308 GTS is the one I want. But
Sir, do you want to buy me one so I can have one?
I'll do what I can for you. All right. So what were the two equations we did to solve this? This was my first equation. This was my second. Okay? Shh. Can I move on? All right. So we're doing the ooh, I'm squeaking, going through puberty. All right, we're doing the exact same thing we did. My first equation is this. Does everybody feel comfortable with that first equation? My second equation is going to be this. Do you recognize the two equations?
Yes.
So I took the simpler side, and I have it sitting as it is from the original without the absolute value, and then I have it sitting with an opposite sign. So this first equation, if I solve it, I would add 4 to both sides, so I get 10. And then this one I'd add 4 to both sides to get what?
-2.
-2. So what's going to happen is the function x minus 4, in this case, sits at 4. So if I go 10 above it, or if I go to 10, I move 6 to the right. And if I go 6 below 4, I get to -2. So again, we're talking about the distance that a function is happening away from the endpoints. Okay? The absolute value, you do it twice. You do the absolute value twice. One looking just like the equation, the other one increasing it by putting in an opposite value sign. Okay? Now, let's do this real quick. Let's plug 10 back in. 10 minus 4 is? 10 minus 4 is? 10 minus 4, you're close. It's 6. What's the absolute value of 6? 6. It works. I'm going to take -2, plug it in. -2 minus 4.
-2.
-2 minus 4. -6. What's the absolute value of -6? 6. Do you trust both answers work?
Yes.
I don't trust your arithmetic, but I trust both answers work. All right, so try this one. We're going to get x minus 1 equals 4. Everyone feel comfortable with that? And then I get x minus 1 equals -4. Okay, so it's just the same equation where this goes positive, this goes negative.
Yeah.
That's it.
When you add 1.
Add 1, so I get 3.
Wait, when we find out both.
Add 1, and I get to -3. And then what happens if I plug 3 in here? I get 3 minus 1 is? Oh, that's a +1, isn't it? So that should have been a 5, huh?
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you, if I could do math, I'd be a much better teacher. If I go 5 minus 1, I get to? 4. Absolute value of 4 is? 4. Cool. If I plug -3 in, -3 minus 1? -4. What's the absolute value of -4? 4. It worked. No, we can't skip this yet.
I'm questioning. What do we do when we do anything different? So like for number 2 would be 1 for the.
Yeah, for the distance.
Yeah, but what would you use that for?
It's just showing that the function exists halfway in between those points.
Oh.
All right. This one, if we go by all practices, I think I should do this first. Agree? And then I should do this. This looks like what I had been doing, right? All right, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides here. So I get x equals
-6.
-6.
And x equals.
Okay, and then subtract 3 here, subtract 3 here. So x equals 0 on this one. Okay, let's see if this works. I'm going to plug -6 in. 3 plus -6.
Yep, that's right.
-3. What is the absolute value of -3? Let me say it one more time. I'm going to take this, plug it in. 3 plus -6 is -3. What's the absolute value of -3?
3.
Is 3 equal to -3? That didn't work. Let's try this one. Plug 0 in. 3 plus 0 is? 3. Absolute value of 3 is? Is 3 equal to -3?
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. You plug both into the top.
Okay. Now, someone might say, oh, if it's negative on that side, is it always going to work that way? I don't want to sit there and say, yes, it will always work that way, because there's certain things that could take place that we haven't seen yet. So I think the best thing for us to do is make sure we are testing our answers. Okay? So please plug them back in, because don't you feel silly if you're like, oh, sweet, I think I did great on that test, and all of a sudden you get the results, and you're like, what did I do? You didn't plug your answers back in. Okay? Can I move off this screen?
Yes.
So the absolute value signs mimic like what parentheses are if you had a number out in front, which we're going to see next. Okay, so this next one I have 3x plus 9, but I'm going to do this. What did I just do?
You added 10. You added 10.
Yeah, I moved the 10 over. Now, do I still have the absolute value signs on my problem?
Yes.
So I did this simple mathematical operation first, and now I'm going to turn it into two problems. So this is 3x plus 9 equals 6, and 3x plus 9
That is inappropriate.
3x plus 9 equals 6, 3x plus 9 equals negative 6. What do you think? So subtract 9 from both sides?
Yeah.
So subtract 9 from both sides, I get to this.
Negative 15.
Is that all right? And divide by 3. Okay, if I take negative 1 and plug it in, 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Negative 3 added to 9 is 6. Absolute value of 6 is 6. It worked. Yeah.
So essentially, we're just making two one-step equations, and then
Or it could be multi-step.
we
But yeah.
graph both of the answers.
So on this second one, so this answer we're going to plug in a sec. We're going to take a look at it. Let's solve this one. I'm going to subtract 9. I get to negative 15. I think I heard someone shout out. And x equals negative 5. Okay. Now, if I plug negative 5 in here, I get 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Negative 15 added to 9 is negative 6. Absolute value of negative 6 is 6. So both of these work on this, but I might need to plug up here. And remember when I showed you on the last one, this was negative, it didn't work? Let's see if that goofs things up. I'm going to plug negative 1 in here. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Negative 3 added to 9 is 6. Absolute value of 6 is 6. 6 minus 10 is negative 4. Does this work?
Yes.
That one did. So then negative 5, plug it in. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Negative 15 added to 9 is negative 6. Absolute value of negative 6 is 6. 6 minus 10 is? So they both work. So remember on the last problem, some of you were probably looking going, oh, if that's negative over there, then there's no solution. But now I just showed you a negative right here. That did work because there was some math that had to manipulate first. Yeah?
Is it possible for one of the equations that you do to be right and one to be wrong?
Yes. And that's something that we're actually going to get closer to. It's called an extraneous solution. Okay? Problem number 5, I have 4 times the absolute value of 2x plus 7. Any idea how we should approach this one?
Divide by 4.
Yeah, divide by 4 first, leaving it still an absolute value, and you're going to get to this. So we'll see what we did. So then I'm going to break this into two equations. So I get 2x plus 7 equals 4, and 2x plus 7 is equal to negative 4. Subtract 7, right? And divide by 2. And then subtract 7. That's negative 11. Divide by 2. I'd say, let's plug these back into the original. So 2 times negative 3 halves is negative 3. Negative 3 plus 7 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Yep. Plug negative 11 halves in. 2 times negative 11 halves is negative 11. Negative 11 plus 7 is negative 4. Absolute value of negative 4 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. They both work. Oh, you gotta sneeze. Come on, baby. Nope,
Wait.
it went away.
Wait, if you really want to make sneezes go away, put your tongue to the roof of your mouth. It always works.
Thanks.
I always just like close my teeth.
If you look at a light, it works. If you look at a light, pages.
Oh, not seasoned. Oh, not seasoned.
The light.
Alright. Alright, here we go. Oh, cool. In a cheerleading competition.
Except, like, that is wrong.
The minimum length of a routine is 4 minutes.
That is wrong.
That's wrong? Okay.
That is
The maximum length of a routine is 5 minutes.
That is also
Yep.
Right? An absolute value equation that represents the minimum maximum, even in the state competition.
They're only 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're only 2 minutes.
This must have been like an old question or something. All right, so the minimum length is 4. The maximum length is 5. Write an absolute value equation that represents the minimum and maximum lengths. Huh? What do you think?
4m plus 5.
What do you think? I'm sorry.
Wait, so absolute value of 5 is so x plus 5 absolute value sign equals 4 absolute value.
I think x plus 4
So hang on. So
equals
the absolute value. Hang on. Let's see. So if we were to say this,
equals 5.
hang on. Would that make sense? Hang on. Let's see if we can make sense out of that. If we went absolute value of x plus 4 equals 5.
Why does it equal 5? Because 5 is
Well, I'm just trying to pull things out that I'm trying to work with.
But that
Me too.
works.
So I was trying to work it out. I hope I can get there.
That works.
All right, so we have 2 numbers given, and I'm just thinking this might be the way to go. So that would mean this and this would be the 2 equations. I don't know. Which means this is that, and this is what? Nope, that's not going to be right.
No, that's right.
Is it?
solution problem.
No, there's a solution.
No, but that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
In a cheerleading competition, the minimum length of a routine is 4 minutes. The maximum length is 5 minutes. Hang on. Write an absolute value equation that represents the minimum and maximum length. So this just means that we have I don't know. This just means this falls halfway between the 2. I don't know. I'll put a question mark on that one. We can think about that one a little bit later.
Wait, that's right.
Why is it right?
Plug it back in because x plus
Oh, I agree with you. If I plug it in, I agree it works. I agree.
Then why is it wrong then?
No, well, in the context of the story, if someone were to say, hey, the absolute value of x plus 4 equals 5, that'll tell you how to solve this cheerleading routine. And I'm confused on it. But we're going to come back to it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. That's why I put a question mark. We'll come back. Maybe someone will give us a little bit different clue. Oh, wait. The same process as 2 absolute values. Write your 2 equations to check your answers. Oh, my. All right, so I have this. And then I'm going to go with this. Why did I do that?
Because it's the
And
absolute
side,
value.
the simpler side.
Simpler side. I like it. I like the terminology. All right, so let's subtract 3x, see what happens. That cancels. Well, I want x on the same side. And then if I divide each side by -2,
X equals 2.
so x equals 2. Does that work? If I plug 2 in, 3 times 2 is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. Absolute
Yep,
value of
that
2 is 2. Absolute value of 2 is 2. Cool, that worked. Let's try this one. Let's get x alone. So I'm going to subtract 3x. So that cancels. I'm just trying to get x on one side. Some of you might have moved the 4 over, and then you have to move the other x. But that's fine. It's the same answer. So I get this. So x equals 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so plug that in. 3 times 1 is
Oh, it doesn't.
3. 3 minus 4 is -1. Absolute value of -1 is 1. Absolute value. Yeah, that worked.
That works.
So
How do you plug it in when the
absolute value of 1 is 1. 3 times 1 is 3 minus 4. That's -1. Absolute value of -1.
So you plug it in twice?
Uh-huh.
And then you did the absolute value
Okay.
of -1 and then equals 1.
No, I think you do.
I don't think
I just tested my answers. That's all I was doing.
Right.
All right, this last problem here. So I'm going to do this.
Can you distribute the 2?
Oh yeah, can you do that?
Yeah.
I like that. Yes, and I will distribute. And then I'm going to do this.
Why'd you change it to a parentheses?
Well, because it has the same property.
Were you allowed to do that?
Yes.
Oh, you changed the signs on the simpler side.
Change signs on the simpler side. Simpler side, yes? All right, so some of you are going, wait a minute, why don't I just distribute? I will. Okay, and then subtract 4x, so that becomes a 2. Subtract 2, that becomes a negative 12. X equals negative 6. Same thing here, negative 4x plus 10. Distribute, I get 6x plus 2. Add 4x over here, so I get 10x equals, subtract 2, I get 8. So I get x equals 8 over 10, which is 4 over 5. I like those answers.
God, I don't get it.
Why? I bet you do. It's one step equation.
No.
A whole lot of belly aching going on.
Oh, I
You're
see.
so fast.
I'm gonna have to watch this
Yeah,
video.
keep
It's
the.
a good thing I record, right?
I know.
Yeah, it's a good
The 8. This 8? All right, let's see what I did over here. I did. You're okay with distributing? Add 4x. Add 4x. Is that okay?
Wait, from
Wait,
now
I
on in
didn't
the
know
equations,
that
can you do like
Hang on. Subtract 2. Subtract 2. Get to that. Divide by 10. Divide by 10.
I got X.
Yeah, what'd you say?
Wait, from now on, like when you're solving equations, could you like put down like the inverse operation so it's like easy?
Oh, I know.
That's why I said it.
Wait, so why do you have two problems?
Absolute value, because it's the distance away from 0, right?
Yeah, but if you
So you have this distance and this distance. That's all it is.
okay. So but if it's not even absolute value in the
No, you drop the absolute value once you do change the two different equations. I don't think it is. I think some of you are overthinking it. Wait, is that it? All right, so our cheerleading question, I think, could be done this way. Let's change this color. I think we could go. I think we could do that.
Okay.
Where'd the 4 and the 5 come from? Minimum maximums.
Wait, so is the other one wrong?
Well, I don't think this was the appropriate way to do it. And then this applies. So I have x plus 4 equals x plus 5. And then I have negative x minus 4 equals x plus 5. I changed the signs on one of them, right?
One of them is no solution.
Ooh, both of them might be.
Why
Oh,
did you
wait,
change
let's
the
see.
negative
If I
four?
subtract x,
A equals no solution.
4 equals 5. Sweet, we solved a great mystery.
No solution.
What?
wait, so
That didn't work.
The other
The other one might work.
Wait, why did
Here
you
we
make
go.
the 4 negative?
4.
It's a
you
positive.
have to change the sign. So you change no, you change the easiest sign.
Right?
No, you change the-
Add 4. X equals negative half.
Ooh, none of that works.
I don't like that.
Wait, why is
Can't we just
x
keep the
plus
normal
4
one?
easy?
That one works. Yeah.
How does it
One of
work?
them works,
Because
but then
this one is
would you
missing.
just have that as the answer instead of having nothing?
Yeah.
So if
Yep.
first
Or
the
zero.
first solution.
Yeah, because 4 is not equal to 5.
Yeah, so it's
So the first way we solved it, that's not going to work. But if I do the opposite, so one way will work, one way won't.
So what does that mean?
Well, one of your solutions. If you get 2 solutions every time, sometimes one of the solutions works. Sometimes both of them work, and sometimes neither of them work. So plugging back in is our important thing. Cool? All right. Let's see. What do we got? Nope and nope. Is that it?
Wait, I'm so confused.
What are you confused
Go
about?
back to the cheerleading one. Because I got 2x equals 9.
2x equals 9?
Negative 2x equals 9.
Negative 2x equals 9?
For the second problem.
We'll take a look. Hang on. We are in. What did I do?
Wait, what is it?
I don't know. I found
Can I just go back to your
Yeah, go back to
cheerleading?
Excuse me. What happened?
Nothing.
They're just being loud in the
What time does this class end at?
So.
Alright.
Okay, so this is worksheet number 8. Yep, which is page 27, page 28. Yeah, and I bet you're gonna knock it out of the park pretty quickly.
That was funny.
It wasn't a joke.